Most people think you need thousands of dollars to travel somewhere beautiful. Luxury hotels, expensive flights, overpriced food. That's what everyone expects. But what if I told you I just spent 7 full days in literal paradise for less than $500 total? That includes my flights, my place to stay, all my food, transportation, and even fun activities. No sponsorships, no shortcuts, just smart planning and a little flexibility. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I made this trip happen, how much everything really cost, and how you can do something similar without breaking the bank. If you've ever dreamed of traveling but felt like it was out of reach, this might change your mind. Segment 1. Transportation. The biggest expense on almost any trip is transportation, and flights often take the largest portion of the budget. That's why this was the area I focused on the most when planning my 7-day trip to paradise. Instead of locking myself into a specific date or airport, I stayed flexible and monitored prices for several weeks. I compared multiple booking sites, set up price alerts, and stayed open to early morning or late night flights if it meant saving a significant amount of money. I also opted for budget airlines and connecting flights rather than direct routes, which made a huge difference in cost. Sometimes adding just a few extra hours to my travel time saved me hundreds of dollars, and it was absolutely worth it. Packing light was another key strategy. I brought only a carry-on bag, which not only eliminated baggage fees, but also made moving through airports faster and much less stressful. Once I arrived, I avoided expensive taxis and rideshares, instead relying on public transportation, walking, and even local ferries when available. This approach not only saved money, but also gave me a chance to see the city from a local perspective, discovering hidden streets, small shops, and corners that most tourists miss. By staying patient, flexible, and intentional with every decision, I kept my transportation costs remarkably low without compromising the overall experience. In the end, I realized that careful planning and smart choices can turn what seems like the most expensive part of a trip into one of the easiest ways to stay on a budget, all while enjoying the journey itself. Segment 2. Accommodation. When it came to where I stayed, I completely skipped the expensive resorts and luxury hotels. Instead, I booked a small guest house and a budget-friendly place that was clean, safe, and located close to everything I wanted to explore. I knew I wouldn't be spending much time inside the room anyway. The whole purpose of this trip was to be outside, discovering new places, swimming, and enjoying the views. All I really needed was a comfortable bed, a clean bathroom, reliable Wi-Fi, and a quiet place to rest at night, and this place checked every box. One of the best parts about staying in a smaller guest house was the personal experience. The hosts were incredibly welcoming and gave me great local recommendations for food, transportation, and hidden spots that most tourists never find. It made the trip feel more authentic and connected to the culture instead of feeling like I was staying in a generic hotel. Choosing simple accommodation saved me a significant amount of money without sacrificing comfort or safety. A lot of people assume budget stays mean lower quality, but this experience proved that affordable lodging can still be comfortable, memorable, and even better than expensive hotels. Segment 3. Food. Food ended up being one of my absolute favorite parts of this trip, and surprisingly, it didn't cost much at all. Instead of eating at tourist-heavy restaurants with inflated prices, I followed the locals and sought out busy street vendors, small family-owned cafes, and fresh food markets. Not only was the food significantly cheaper, but it also tasted far better and felt much more authentic. Each meal was an opportunity to experience the local culture, and some dishes cost only a few dollars while still being incredibly filling, flavorful, and freshly prepared. Beyond meals, I saved even more by buying snacks, fresh fruit, and drinks from local markets instead of overpriced convenience stores or tourist shops. This made it easy to stay fueled throughout the day without ever feeling like I was overspending. Sampling local specialties became a fun part of the adventure, and each bite told a story about the destination, the flavors, the ingredients, and the traditions behind them. What surprised me most was how much richer the experience felt when I prioritized authentic food over convenience or fancy dining. Every meal became a small cultural moment rather than just something to get through. This approach not only saved money, but it also made the trip far more satisfying and memorable. It proved that you don't need expensive restaurants or five-star meals to eat well while traveling. With a little planning, curiosity, and a willingness to try new things, you can enjoy some of the best culinary experiences of your life without breaking your budget. Segment 4. Activities. You really don't need expensive tours, luxury excursions, or fancy attractions to enjoy a place like paradise. In fact, some of the best experiences on this trip were completely free. I spent my days lounging on pristine beaches, swimming in crystal clear water, hiking scenic trails, and watching unforgettable sunsets that felt like they belonged in a movie. I also wandered through local neighborhoods, discovering quaint streets, vibrant markets, and small cafes where life moved at a slower pace. Simply walking around and letting myself explore led me to hidden viewpoints, quiet beaches, and tucked-away spots that weren't crowded with tourists. These spontaneous discoveries ended up being some of my favorite memories from the entire trip, and they reminded me that travel isn't always about planning every detail or paying for the perfect experience. I only spent money on one or two small activities, and even those were very affordable and completely worth it. Instead of rushing from one paid attraction to another, I chose to slow down, take in the environment, and really connect with the people and culture around me. That freedom allowed me to experience the destination in a way that felt authentic and personal. This trip reminded me that travel isn't about how much money you spend. It's about the moments you create, the places you discover, and the memories you bring home. Sometimes the simplest experiences, a quiet beach, a sunset hike, or a local market stroll, are the most meaningful, and this adventure proved that you can have an incredible journey without constantly opening your wallet. Segment 5. Total breakdown. Now it's time for the part everyone has been waiting for, the numbers. I kept track of every single expense on this trip, and when I added everything together, flights, accommodation, food, transportation, and activities, the total came in under $500. Honestly, seeing that final number was almost unbelievable. For a full week in paradise, I spent less than most people spend on a weekend getaway at home. This trip really proved that traveling on a budget is not only possible, it can also be incredibly rewarding if you plan smart and stay flexible. The key is being intentional with every dollar, prioritizing experiences over luxury, and cutting out unnecessary expenses. I focused on what mattered most, exploring, eating well, and making memories, rather than paying for fancy hotels or overpriced attractions. If there's one lesson I learned, it's that you don't need a huge income to explore the world. You just need a clear strategy, flexibility, and a mindset that values experiences over money. With that approach, traveling to paradise and making unforgettable memories is absolutely within reach for anyone. If this video inspired you to travel smarter and cheaper, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe for more budget travel tips and real-life adventures. Drop a comment if you'd like me to share the exact destination, booking strategies, or a detailed budget breakdown. Your support really helps the channel grow, and I can't wait to bring you along on the next trip. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.